Hi there, thanks for watching. This is a 16 by 20 inch gouache painting that I completed in the summer of 2024. Gouache is basically an opaque watercolor. I used actual watercolor for that orange wash in the background that I'll talk about a little more. Gouache, as you see, goes on a little lighter and then it dries a little darker. You can see that here on the greens. So that sort of messes with your mind as you paint and as you mix the colors and realize, oh, that's not quite what I was hoping for. The whole thing was sort of an experiment. That orange wash in the background is specifically something I tried because I'd just gone to a friend's art show. She did a solo show and I got to get up close and see how she makes a lot of her large-scale work. Find Kelly Reamston on Instagram, amazing stuff. A lot of her paintings have bright pink, hot pink, or bright orange undercoats. She works on top of these bright colors. I thought I'd use that as part of this experiment. My main goal was to not use black in the painting. Instead, I used Prussian blue and mixed the darkest colors I could. I used about maybe 6 different colors of paint and then mixed them to create all the colors you see in this painting. Somehow, no matter how you mix these colors, they work together. It reminds me of those Lisa Frank folders and things that little girls used in the 90s. I was one of those little girls, so I'm pretty happy with that association. Here's a good example of how much the color changes as it dries. It was really fulfilling to go in with the detail around those arrows later. But if you look at the back axle right now, everything is way too far back, and I'm going to go in and fix that and push it forward a little bit here shortly. Put off that front wheel until later. I wasn't quite sure how I was going to do all those super fine details, but adding the straight lines on the box was also a little bit nerve-wracking because I knew if they were a little bit crooked, it would be pretty noticeable, at least for me. My friends remind me that no one else is going to spend 35 hours with their face like 6 to 10 inches away from the painting. I have to remind myself of that as I go. Once the lines were down, I was feeling a little bit better, but then you need to add the contrast. So adding in the dark colors of the reflection, that was where it was at. Especially up at the top, you see the little short purple lines. That was just like the icing on the cake for me with these stripes. Even though there's a ton left to do, I was really happy with how that ended up turning out. I completed this painting specifically to enter in a show at my local art league. The theme was must-have wheels. The people who hosted the show actually put a lot of work into finding and inviting artists in the area that have an automotive focus. It was really neat to be able to see a bunch of other people who work in a similar field, see their work up close, all in one place. There's that back wheel moving forward. I felt like it opened things up and really brought the background in to the painting. When it came time for the awards, there was a nice reception. They started announcing with the honorable mentions, 3rd place, 2nd place, and then at that point I sort of made peace. I guess I just didn't win anything. 1st place, still don't hear my name. And then they said best of show. At that point, I just sort of had an out-of-body experience. I have the ribbon hanging on the wall next to the map where all of my art has been sent, so it's a nice little reminder of something here locally where I actually got to display my work here in town. Not many opportunities for a truck artist to show their work in Findlay, Ohio, and I'm really honored for that. Rivets upon rivets. This painting was all about reflections. You can kind of see into the truck also in the photo, so I was making sure that you could see a little bit inside, but also some reflections on the glass. I had to stop myself on the grill. I really wanted to paint in all the lines that you would see on a 352 grill, but again, it's only a couple inches tall and no one else is going to be looking at it as closely at a distance that I was, so I kept it as it looks right now. People ask me how to draw or paint metal. Just a reminder, if you haven't heard me say it already, metal is not silver, it's the color of everything it reflects. When I get into the bumper here shortly, yeah, it's a nice shiny bumper, but it's reflecting everything that you can't see in this image. Adding the rivets on the cab of the truck. I went a little overboard again, and each rivet is actually like 3 different colors. There's one that's similar to the paint that's on it, then a darker one is a shadow, and white is a highlight. Going in with the gold was really fulfilling. I have an actual metallic gold paint that I normally would never use, but I thought that really tied it all together. And the reflection you see on that quarter fender is the underside of the box. I wasn't quite sure how I was going to end up doing the actual background, So I'm not a landscape artist by any means, so I just went in and sort of dry brushed in some texture, used a different shade of green to give it a more natural look, and some orange for the highlights. I really like how the oranges show up in the background. And again, I used that orange wash and let some of that show through, especially up in the clouds since it was sunset. I even went so far as in to do my own version of the actual pinstriping that's on the truck. If you're interested in getting a painting or a drawing of your own truck done, or one as a gift for someone else, get in touch, missflatbed.red. I hope you like it, and thank you so much for watching!